Hello, I'm Dennis O'Donnell, Vice President of Precision PCB Services, Inc. And we are a provider of products, services, training, and consulting for rework of electronic assemblies. We specialize in BGA Rework, QFN, PLP, lead-free anomalies. Today, I'm here to show you the process that we use for solder bumping LGA components to give you void-free assembly. Many people aren't aware that with LGA components, QFNs and components like that, when you use solder paste, a lot of times you have a problem with voiding, and some customers require a very critical interconnect with minimal voiding. And one way to assemble QFNs and LGAs without voids is to use a tacky paste flux instead of solder paste, and also to solder bump your components. Today, what I would like to show you is we have our special fixtures here that allow you to solder bump up to 9 LGAs at one time. These fixtures completely go through the reflow oven with a stencil to hold the solder balls in place so you get 100% yield on your solder bumping. And so quite simply, you take the mechanical engineering drawing from your component, and these fixtures are machined to hold your component, just like so. We put all 9 of them in. Then we take a mildly active flux. We're using an Amtech mildly active tacky paste flux. This is a water wash. And we simply take a brush, dip it in the flux paste, and just brush it on your components. These are already fluxed to save time, but I do apply the flux using a microscope so that I can make sure I get even coverage. You do have the option to use a stencil and print your paste flux, but that's not absolutely necessary. The way we do it with just brushing a generous amount of flux on gives us 100% yield. So we just use a brush and tacky flux. The next thing we'll do is we'll pull out our stencil. And this stencil right here will hold our solder balls in place when it goes through the reflow. So we apply our stencil to the fixture, like so. And then you'll get the outer ring right here. And the outer ring just goes on top of the stencil. Take 2 screws, like so. 1, 2. Drop it. Live videos, got to make up for those things. Drop a little screw, but here, let's put the screw in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my microscope here, and I'm just going to line the stencil pads with the screw with the solder balls. This is has plate. The stencil moves around, and you could adjust it to be on center. So it just takes a second there. I lined up my stencil to my pads. You can see the gold pads in there. And it's tight. It's not going to move now. We just tightened up with 2 screws. You have the option to use 4. We find 2 works just fine. Right now, my stencil, everything's held in place. I'll get some solder balls. And what we'll do, we'll just simply move the cap. We'll pour some solder balls in here, like so. Don't need too many. And then we'll just wiggle it around here. Just like one of those little games we used to play when we were kids. Now I have a little groove that's in the fixture here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our bench. So we're simply going to pour the solder balls back into the fixture. So basically what I did, I wiggled the fixture around, got the solder balls set in the holes here, and then I brushed them off through this little groove back into the solder ball jar so I could use some more for the next time. You'll see when I brush, a few of the balls may come out, so we just go back and we'll take the tweezers, add those few extra balls. Now this whole fixture is ready to go through the reflow oven using a normal reflow profile. And what will happen is, when this comes out of the oven, what we'll have will look like this. We're going to remove our screws, take the top ring off, take the stencil off, and we will have perfectly bumped LGA components. Now these components can be installed on the board using the same method. We use a tacky paste flux, not solder paste, because solder paste will cause voiding. Use a tacky paste flux. We have our bumps. They melt to the board perfectly with zero voiding. Occasionally what you'll want to do is you'll want to remove the stencil when they're warm so that the flux doesn't stick to the stencil. If the stencil cools down and sticks a little bit, you simply soak them in warm water. Since we are using a mildly active water washable flux, we'll wash these components off in a warm DI water, and then we'll bake them according to the manufacturer's recommendations. But that's simple. Void-free assembly by solder bumping your LGAs with a tacky paste flux. These are also, we make fixtures for LGAs, BGA Reballing, QFNs. They're ideal. We do hundreds of components a day here with these fixtures. So if you're interested, give me a call. You can reach me at toll-free 888-408-2830 or my cell phone 530-403-9103. And my website is www.pcb, like printed circuit board, repair.com. And we are available to provide you with excellent service and high yield, high reliability interconnect solutions for your critical assemblies. Thank you for watching.